Guitars. Opinions unqualified.
I was not going to stop it and start that again, just to let you know.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I love it. So welcome to Opinions Unqualified. As you've probably noticed, and we might actually have to do it one week, is put all the noises we've used over the journey, because every intro's been different.
We could do that. That would be an interesting little thing, I guess. I don't know how I don't think it would sound very good.
Yeah, I did just some history, maybe a little competition one day to try and guess how many they know.
Oh yeah, like what have we? Yeah, that would
be the magic sound.
Yeah, because there's definitely one that I've got in mind
that they just wouldn't get.
No chance.
Yeah, I agree. So we might even do that. We might get some snippets at some point and just put the sounds up and see if people can work it out. But welcome to this week's episode of Opinions Unqualified with Nixy and Sammy.
Yeah, welcome.
How are you, Sammy?
I'm doing well. Had a great day today, so I'm living it up.
I love it. I'm thinking about sounds. I heard the fire crack because we're sitting in my living room, beautiful wood fire, and heard the fire crack. I wonder if people at home can hear that.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. We'll test our mic out.
Have to listen back. Yeah. So anyway, we were going to talk about something else, and we'll get to that, I'm sure. But I want to talk about gas fires versus wood fires to start with, just because of the fire topic there. I just feel like when you've got a nice wood fire, the heat's different.
I think it's better.
It's better. It's like a warmer.
Look, I'm not. To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of heaters.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because I'm a warm person.
Because you're hot. Is that what you're trying to say, Sam?
Yeah. Just shout out. I actually am just. I get really warm, especially inside. Fires inside or heaters inside I'm not a fan of those. Outside, I can get around a fire, but inside I get too stuffy, too hot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love an inside fire. And if I can come home after work and light the wood fire over the gas heater, every day of the week I'm taking the wood fire.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'll take a wood fire, yeah.
And so it's sort of like outside as well. Like there's not much better than a fire pit. So you have the fire pit and the wood, and then that compared to one of those big tall gas heaters. That sort of throws
the outdoor, the pubs and stuff we got over.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, outdoor. And plus outdoor, like when you get the wood fires outside, you can chuck your rubbish in there and it just burns.
Yeah. Well, I can tell today's episode's going to be a little crazy one because I've gone off topic right from the start, but that's all good. I did something weird on the weekend, Sam.
I don't know if it's weird. I think it's just, it's foreign to you.
It is very unique, very unique to me. And I did it for good reasons because I needed to be somewhere early on Sunday for my son's first wobble game, actually. And Kyne's going to be a guest in a little segment that he's wanted to do. So we'll talk to him about that briefly, about his experience on the weekend as well. But I didn't drink on Saturday night. So we had a soiree for a friend of ours. And I had the zero alcohol Carlton Zero beers, which I must say actually tasted quite good. Considering, what they are. So, yeah.
I was very proud of you, Nixy. I wasn't sure whether it was going to be, you say it and then your arm gets twisted or something like that. But I was like, well, it was almost like a proud dad moment for me watching you do that.
Well, I was, I got through it. And this is probably a good question for you, really, because you've seen me in all sorts of social settings. But how did I differ from my usual jovial self by being, the driver?
I don't think you differed too much. I don't think there was too much difference between maybe a little bit quieter, but not that you would notice it. The difference. Maybe if because you didn't come out, did you?
No.
Yeah, they took
home.
too long. That might have been different, maybe.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I just thought it was unique, and I know you've got some experience on the, not drinking in social settings, because there was a period of time where you didn't drink at all. Have you got some tips that you could share with maybe some people that are thinking about taking some time off but still wanting to be social? Because I know for me, I find it's hard to be as social as I normally would be if I'm not having a beer.
Yeah, it's a bit harder. The best tip I probably received, especially when you're out on like a Saturday night or something like that, is that everyone else that you talk to is drunk.
Yep.
So they're not going to remember it anyway. Doesn't matter how good or how bad your talk is or what you're talking about. Like, chances are that person's forgot about it halfway through your conversation. So, like, there's not, I don't know. It was kind of the
That's actually a
best
good
advice
point.
I had, really.
Well, I thought about, like, if I did end up going out socially, like, I'd just have a drink, like a Coke or something.
Yeah.
And just so I've got something in my hand, so I feel like I'm involved. You know what I mean?
Because I think that's where I get done. Is when I go out and if I'm not drinking, I just won't drink.
Yeah.
And then I think that's probably maybe get yourself a drink, and then
Yeah, so like a Coke or like whatever soft drink or lemon lime bitters or something, and then you feel like a little involved.
a little bit more. Yeah, maybe it makes you feel a little bit more homely. You know.
Well, I can say this with like all confidence that I was very, very happy on Sunday morning. Like I was able to get up and do the things that I needed to do. Didn't feel any tiredness or.
How good is it?
Yeah, I felt fresh as.
Good.
Yeah.
It is really good to hit a Sunday morning and just think, wow, this is what a morning on a Sunday looks like and feels like.
Yeah, and I got up way earlier than I usually get up as well, because we had plenty to do. And I still felt good. Like, even with, limited sleep, I stayed out fairly late still.
You hung in there, that's for sure.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's something I'm proud of. And I don't know if this sort of makes me a bad person, but honestly, I'd much prefer to be in that setting with a beer.
I mean, that's probably fair. That's probably fair. I mean, but you handled it well. And look, I'm not going to toot my own horn here either, but I kind of tested myself as well that night to find that level of I've had enough to drink, but it's not going to ruin my Sunday too much.
Yep. And did you find it?
I think I hit it.
Okay.
I think I hit it. Probably, yeah. I could fine tune it a little bit, but I might have sussed my my tolerance level. Okay. I don't know.
Well, that's a skill, man. That is an absolute skill to know when to. Because I think I've found it as well. Because I've got kids, so I've got that dad strength. Everyone talks about this dad strength. So I'll get up no matter what and hang with the kids. But we won't ask Kyan this question when he's on because I'm sure he just says I'm terrible sometimes. But I think in general I found a pretty good level.
Well, that's the thing. You probably found it. Yep. It's just how well can you keep to that. That's. I think that might be the test. When it's you've hit your limit, and then you're like, well, this is such a good night.
Yep.
And then someone comes out with tequila shots, and then
and then you're just like, oh, well, okay, sort of have to now.
And then you passed. You passed it. So
anyway, I'm proud of myself, and I know it's something you've done before, which you can definitely be proud of. But if anyone's got any tips or hints or how to have a night out, like a sober night, if you're the designated driver or whatnot, we'd love to hear them. And you know what? If we get some good ones, I'll even give it a try another night.
Yeah, so will I.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Sounds good to me. I want to talk about second dinners.
Yeah.
So the reason I want to talk about second dinners is that Kyan, our guest that's on tonight, is getting bigger, and my dinners are getting smaller, and his is getting bigger. So I feel like we cook the same amount of food, but he's eating more, so I'm getting less. So tonight's a perfect example. We had a roast lamb, and then I've eaten my roast lamb dinner, and I'm still hungry, so I had a steak sandwich as well, as my second dinner. Is that something you do? You have second dinners?
No. I think I'm quite lucky. I don't. I think I get first pickings most of the time with food.
Yeah.
But definitely at a restaurant, if I haven't had enough at a restaurant, how sometimes they do the small serve thing.
Yeah.
Then I might hit a little food on the way home or something like that. But in terms of being at home, no, Mooka would kill me if I said I wasn't well fed.
Well, that'd be one of my that's one of my pet hates. You go to a restaurant and you order a meal. And then you leave the restaurant, and then you stop and get a burger on the way home or something. And I've done that multiple times.
Yeah. It's not. It shouldn't be like that, should it?
No, you go out for dinner, you order a main meal. Like, a main meal should feed you.
Yeah, you should at least be content.
Like, you could get a snack in America,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh.
and that's the main meal here.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
I was gonna say, like, you want to be content. Like, sometimes, like, if it's a fancy place or whatever, like, you don't want to be thinking like, I want a whole meal after this. Like,
Yeah.
if you're like, oh, like I could have a dessert, or like I could have like a little snack, you can maybe pass it. You'd be like, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But it's those ones where you're like, I could go a whole nother large Big Mac meal on the way home. That's just like unacceptable.
Yeah, and I've done that. It's like, you have this meal and, it tastes good. Like, but, yeah, I want to...
You want to be full.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to, I'm paying... And the money you pay for it as well.
Yes,
Like,
but yeah,
man,
those places are usually the expensive ones.
Yeah, exactly. So, what do you think is the... Like, can you think of some perfect second dinner combinations? So, say you go out for pasta... Mm-hmm. And you have like a bolognese. What would be the perfect second dinner? What would complement that on the way home?
Oh, what, like a fast food place?
Yeah. Well, let's go fast
food.
Yeah,
on the way
just say,
home.
because you're on the way home from a restaurant and you're hungry.
Early dinner, late dinner.
Let's go like a late-ish dinner. So late-ish dinner for me is like 7:30 though.
Yeah, that's all right. So Pasta Cup won't be open then, will it?
Yeah, that'll be open. So you get more pasta after eating pasta.
Yeah, I'll get more pasta.
Really?
I think so. Stick with what I'm going,
So I reckon I'd change it up a little bit. I'll get some chicken or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll just go more pasta. I like pasta though, so maybe that's just me.
I love pasta. Well, so say you had a steak then. So you go out for a steak. And you get one of those, you order like a medallion steak and they give you a tiny little piece. You get pasta on the way home?
No, I wouldn't get pasta. That's I'd probably, look, that would probably be a Big Mac situation, I think.
Yeah. So meat on meat, pasta after pasta. Yeah. So I'm guessing if you had like a I don't know, a vegan bloody tofu salad.
Pizza.
Meat eaters pizza. Yeah. You get the meat eaters pizza after that. So yeah, I just think it's I just wonder if that's like a normal thing, but for you obviously not, but
yeah, I mean, steak sandwich as a second dinner is not a bad little gig there.
Oh, I've had a good night. Yeah. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I've had a good night. So, So let's introduce our guest, who is currently sitting across the room, staring at blankness. So we're going to get him to come over here. He's a little legend, and you've met him before. He was on podcast one. Yeah, he was our first guest, and he's back today because he's had this idea. And every week we film our pod, and every week Sam and I will sit here and talk about our options for topics and what we want to discuss. And every single week he says what? What do you say, Kyan? Hats. He says hats.
You know what? Before Kyan says too much on his hat chat, I'm gonna deviate a little bit here. Is persistence key?
Persistence. Well, in this case, it proves that it is.
Because I think this might be a lesson. If you want something, if you ask enough times or bring it up enough times, more than likely, I think something's going to give.
Definitely. Yeah. It's either them allowing you to talk to them, or they're going to discuss that topic or do what you want them to do. So persistence is key. Hard work.
Hey, it's a good trait to have.
It is. So you're definitely persistent, aren't you, son?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So before we get on to Hat Chat with Kyan, we're going to call the segment Hat Chat with Kyan. I want to talk about your weekend. So you had a pretty big weekend. So why could Dad not have a beer at the party on Saturday night?
So get me to my first wobble game on time.
So it was your first wobble game. Where was your first wobble game?
In Rockingham.
In Rockingham. And how long was that drive?
45 minutes to an hour.
And what time did we leave home in the morning?
6:30.
6:30ish in the morning? Yeah. And how'd you go?
Well, we got smashed.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, you did get smashed. How did you go?
Well,
All right, so let's talk about what happened after basketball.
I left basketball early to go to a football match
And where was your football match?
in Seacrest.
In Seacrest. And how far away was that from Rockingham?
Hour.
An hour?
Another hour.
Another hour, yeah. Yeah, so what should you probably say to your dad?
Thanks.
All good, buddy. All right, so that's the life of a parent on a Sunday. So basketball in Rockingham, game started at 8 a.m, had to be there by 7:30. And then we had to be an hour's drive back north in Sorrento, which is where Seacrest is, at 10 a.m. for a 10 a.m. game of footy. So we're running around. I think I may have got flashed once, but I wasn't deliberately speeding. I was just in a car without a cruise control.
Yeah. It's an amazing thing, isn't it?
I love cruise control. I reckon it saved me so much money. No cruise control, and I just tend to get a little heavy-footed. So yeah, we'll see how we go with that. Anyway, so what is hat chat, Kine?
Choosing whatever hat you would like if you could make one.
Yeah, okay. So if you could make a hat, what would it be? Is that the question?
Yeah.
So today's topic on hat chat is, if you could make a hat, what would it be? So do you think Sam should start?
Yep.
Alright, if I'm going to start, I'm going to keep it simple. I like a good little dad hat. Little, what I'm wearing now, pretty much.
Oh, so
Not that anyone can see, but it's like a little strap back. Little, the curved beak.
yeah. So it's a baseball cap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a
Pretty
baseball
much.
cap with the curved beak rather than the flat beak.
Yeah.
And it's a shorter head pocket. We'll call it a head pocket.
Yeah.
It's a smaller head pocket than like a usual one of those high rimmed baseball caps.
That's pretty much what I go for.
Yeah. Velcro back or
Nah, strap.
Strap back. Yeah.
Strap. Yeah, not much else, you know. I was like,
When you're talking about that particular hat though, you've got a big B in front of yours. I'm guessing it's a Boston Red Sox.
yeah.
Red Sox? Yeah, Red Sox is Boston.
yeah.
Is it the hat? Does it have to have something on it, or do you like a plain hat?
I could take anything really. I don't know. I just found this hat when I was probably like a long time ago, forward driving, and I was just sitting on a dune, and me and my brother were forward driving with a few mates, and I seen this hat on the side of the of a what do you call it, sand dune.
Yep.
And I told my brother, I was like, just park up next to the hat, let me have a look at it, and I was like, oh, this is a half decent hat, I'll take it.
Yeah. Cool.
So-
I like it. I do like that hat.
Yeah.
Looks like it's been loved, doesn't it? Yeah. How many hats do I own, Con?
Lots.
Lots. I love hats. I'm a hat man. Kine, what would your hat be? Should we talk colours with Sam first, actually?
Yeah.
What colour would you
Colours. I like dull kind of colours.
like greys and
Yeah, just
light
because it
blues
kind of goes with everything.
Yeah.
That's probably my, yeah.
Okay. This is your moment.
Yeah.
Time to shine.
I'd probably split up into quarters,
Okay.
so then I could have a purple and a white, then a green and a white.
Okay, and why those colours?
Fremantle and Wolves.
Okay, cool. I love that. And would it be like a cap, like Sam was liking, or would it be like a bucket hat, or would it be like a cowboy hat?
Probably like a cap.
Like a cap, like Sam? Yep.
Yep.
So do you like the flat beak cap, or do you like the curved beak cap?
I don't really mind.
Don't really mind.
We'll go with curved.
Curved? Curved's a go. I prefer curved. I used to get flat beak caps and curve them.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
do if I get it. Just a little bit.
Yeah, just like a little curve on them. Just fits your head a little bit better. It feels nicer around the temple area.
Yeah, it doesn't feel, yeah. And it doesn't look, I feel like it looks a bit weird
Yeah.
when you get like,
I'm a bald man, so for me, I like a wide brim hat. Like if I can get a wider brim, I would wear like a fisherman's hat over a baseball cap.
yeah, right.
Yeah, any day, like a floppy brim, covers my neck as well. I think they look cool, but I think you have to talk about hats for occasions. Like
Yeah,
if you're playing,
yeah.
if you're playing golf, you know, you don't want to wear like a normal cap. You want to wear like a Scottish
Wide brim, yeah.
or
Stiff wide brim.
stiff wide brim. Yeah. So something like that, or if you're out fishing, you need that wide brim hat as well. Whereas if you're playing like a sport like basketball, like you got to turn that hat backwards because it gets in the way of shooting. The beak gets in the way of shooting. Particularly if you've got great form, like because you're going up past your head. Yeah. So, do you think we covered the topic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any other topic that you wanna discuss?
What about your hat?
Yeah. I'd get a wide brim hat. I'd probably get it in, like a green. I like a
What kind of green?
Like a bottle green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a bottle green. Because again, that's the sort of color that goes with most things. Because it's like darker. Yeah. So not like a bright color.
Yeah.
Bright colors, you got to be. Can't really.
You got to match it a little bit more. A little bit more thought in your outfit needs to be had.
I feel like I'd have a few like air holes in it to keep the
little pockets. Yeah.
Sort of to keep the air flowing through. But it needs to be like a multi-purpose, multi-use hat, and I feel like a hat like that, I could take it to play golf. Not that I play much golf. I could take it to the park with you, kick the footy. Yeah. So what do you reckon?
Yeah.
Cool.
Successful hat chat.
Yep.
Awesome. Is there anything else you wanted to talk to the people about? Is there anything on your mind? What's it like being a 10-year-old, nearly 11-year-old, right now in Western Australia? What do you think?
More normal than any of the other states, countries, or islands, or anything in the world right now. More normal because coronavirus.
Yep. So you've just sort of led us on to the next topic, which is cool. But we're going to let you go because it's basically nearly your bedtime.
Uh-oh.
So see you to the people.
See ya.
And get out of here. Skedaddle.
Bye.
All right. So you're talking about sort of obviously coronavirus, and you had someone talk to you about like a really good topic, and this is definitely the biggest moment in Kyan's life to this point, other than being born. That's a pretty big moment, but when you're talking about global events, it's big. So what was the subject?
Yeah, so I was talking to a mate of mine. We're playing a bit of 2K as we do in the park, a bit of 3-on-3, giving people buckets. And he said a good little topic would be what is the biggest historical event that you have lived through? And something that you can remember. Not something that happened when you were like 2.
Yep.
And you got no idea of where you were or anything like that. And I've been thinking for a long time because this happened in the afternoon and it's night now. And I was struggling, to be honest with you. Let's get the obvious out the way. Yep. Corona.
Yep.
That's obvious. But then we're thinking like more things, right? And the stuff that came to my mind, was Michael Jackson's death.
Yep.
I remember that because I was getting a lift to high school, and it came up on the news, and I was pretty gutted.
Yep.
Steve Irwin.
When he died, yes.
Gutted.
Yep.
Kobe Bryant. Gutted.
Yeah, that was massive as well, particularly in the circles that we travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think even like Kobe was basketball, but that was like a worldwide.
Yeah.
I think the world felt that.
Yeah, I had kids at basketball training crying.
Yeah.
And it's like they knew the guy, and I'm like, well, yeah, no, I guess when you're that big and that well known and influenced so many people, you can impact. So, well, the biggest, and as soon as you come in today, the biggest thing that happened in my life, other than Corona, and Corona is definitely at a point where it's the biggest thing.
It's stopped the world pretty much.
It has, and you think of the amount of deaths and just the impact it's had on economies and just the way the world's changed. Like even our world on a daily basis has changed in regards to sanitisation and cleaning your hands, and social distancing is something that was never mentioned before this. So, and that's something that will probably continue for a long time. And people talk good hygiene before this point, but it wasn't something that we were very stringent on. And now it's like you walk into a place,
big time.
you wash your hands, you don't sneeze into your hands, those sorts of things. So I think, for you and your generation, it's definitely the biggest. For me, it would be now as well, but before that would have been 9/11. And I remember I was 19 at that point, and I was laying in bed watching TV. I was in a share house and had a bed, and we were watching Rove McManus, which
Rove Live. That was a good show.
So Rove Live. So we're watching that, and that was roughly 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and then it stopped, and I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" And we see a plane fly into a building, and we thought, "Man, this is a weird movie," or that they've just changed to something. And then you see the news headlines underneath the screen, at the bottom of the screen, scrolling through, and then there's like people. There's a second plane. And just the feeling. I watched it for like a good couple of hours. I think it must have been about 1 a.m, where I've just sort of turned it off. I had work the next morning. And I was just in disbelief, and you're sort of laying there going, really, is this actually real? And you go into the work in the morning, and everyone in the office is still glued to the TV, and you just couldn't believe that something like that could happen, particularly on live TV. Like you're seeing it actually happen.
Wait, it happened live?
Yeah, it happened live. So there was people, like news crews must have been in New York, and like they were just like, this is what's happening. There's a plane. The plane's flown into a building, and then it was like, seriously, there's another plane coming. There's another plane, and you see that going into
right.
Like as it happened, it was one of the most, just painful, scary, things that happened in my life, and the way that it impacted, particularly the travel industry, with security checks at airports, and you're only allowed to carry with a certain amount of liquid was after that point, which is so normal to you now, but that's what changed. Like you used to be able to go into, particularly domestic flights, you used to pretty much be able to go up, walk to your gate, and walk on the plane.
Just whatever.
And that stuff, obviously changed the way, we do a lot of things, and then the way that it impacted, particularly people from the Middle East, and I've worked with some people from the Middle East back then, that the way that people looked at them and the way that people treated them, even though it was clear that they're part of our society and been here for a life, they were born here. Because of the impacts of our media and how they were pushing things. It was something that I'll remember, for the rest of my life, and just you just feel for those people, and I'm certain that there's still people that are in America that aren't over that and will never get over that in their whole life. So, people's parents that were working, and the amount of orphans you hear about those stories. And I went to the site in New York, and
I've been there.
Yeah, it's quite eerie.
It is a bit, and just that whole it's a bit something not right has happened, and it's just it's a bit, I don't know, it feels empty.
It does.
like I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's a big bustling city, and then there's this hole. Yeah. It's quite eerie. Probably before that, and I was quite young, but I still remember it happening, is when Princess Diana died, and that was a
car crash.
Car crash. That was a massive moment, and just the aftermath of that was like with paparazzi and blaming the paparazzi because they were chasing her, and that is it legal, how they stalk people. And I actually think after that point there were certain rules put in place about how close media and things can be to people of importance or celebrity, and so that was pretty big. And another royal scandal was the Camilla Parker Bowles, I think her name, Charles's new wife or whatever. They're talking about all of this, that they were having an affair. So that was pretty big. Well, I think my mum must have read, Woman's Day or something. On there, I had him lying around the house. So that was a really big moment as well. The Princess Diana's death I'm talking about. That was a really big moment, and that was plastered all over the place. And remember that. And another big one, and again, it wasn't probably as impacting globally, was when Kurt Cobain died. Being a teenager and listening to Nirvana, and just the fact that grunge that grunge culture was really strong at that point in time, and he impacted a lot of lives of people of my age. So that was pretty big news too. But Corona, then 9/11, and then all that other stuff after that.
And do you find it crazy that we've listed quite a handful of things?
Yep. And
not one of those has been positive, depending how you look at it, but none of it's really been positive.
Yeah, well, and there's this old saying that that bad news sells.
Yeah.
Good news. People don't want to hear good news.
Because
we've spoken about this before.
Yeah, you can't really. But it's crazy. It's just, I don't know. It's weird how you think about it. Because I've been trying to think of good stuff that's been at least nationwide or worldwide, but it's hard to think of stuff like Kathy Freeman.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That's pretty
Kieran Perkins in 92 wasn't. You were way too young. Were you even born in 92?
No.
Yeah. See, that was pretty huge, and I was a young kid. That was amazing. But it's usually a sporting accomplishment.
Yeah, and then obviously all the rights, I don't know, stuff that gets changed for the better of communities and stuff like that.
But people just sort of expect that that's the way life is after that point. They sort of... There probably isn't enough celebration of those changes.
Once, that's true. That probably is true.
I saw... Well, I'll talk about it. But I saw something today where it says there was a big post. Recently, we've had the Black Lives Matter movement, and it's a very it was so true. It sort of punched me in the face a little bit when it's Black lives still matter, because people move on so fast to something else or something different. Because it's not in your face every single day.
It's that next thing that the media pushes kind of thing, isn't it? And people move on. I feel they just move on to the next hot topic.
Yeah, and and that's a struggle. That's a struggle that's going to be on. Who knows the solution
forever, really.
We'll do our best to treat people with love and respect as deserved. But it's a big issue. But that's well past what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
But there's not much positive. I think probably another big thing is when the UK moved out of the European Union, and Brexit was huge.
That was pretty big
massive,
for a bit, wasn't it?
But in the European, even when the EU put together, that was really positive for a lot of countries.
Yeah.
A lot of countries, but we don't think about that and say, well, that was a huge moment, which was for everyone in Europe. That's a massive moment.
Yeah. It's all contextual to where you are and who you are, isn't it? So
I'll tell you a really good moment that's going to happen this year. AFL Grand Final in Perth.
You reckon it's going to happen?
No, it won't happen. Do you know why it won't happen?
Why won't it happen?
Well, I heard this theory from a friend of ours the other day, and I'll remember it because I wasn't drinking. So he's talking about there was the Brisbane game on the weekend.
Yeah.
And one of the commentators mentioned, "Thank you, Queensland government," 15 times or 20 times or something. It was ridiculous, and I'd love to go back and count exactly how many times.
Yeah.
Because without the Queensland government allowing the AFL to go into Queensland, there wouldn't have been an AFL season, because Western Australia if they come here they have to quarantine for the 2 weeks. Whereas Queensland were take our teams, and obviously the 2 West Australian teams went over there. So I think if it's not in Melbourne, it'll be at the Gabba. That's what I actually think.
Yeah, right. That's pretty big, somewhere different. That'd be the first time, won't it?
First time ever, because I think they've still got another 50-year contract at the MCG. So the reason the grand final is the MCG is because the AFL's got a contract.
Yeah,
with them.
right.
So I have no idea what sort of financial implications would occur, but
be a lot of money in that, wouldn't there?
But if WA's back to normal, like this is, and again, we'll start lobbying for this, but if WA's back to normal and you're allowed 60,000 people in our stadium, I think the Gabba only holds 30,000. Why wouldn't the AFL, because they get the revenue for the grand final.
Then you're going to,
Why wouldn't they have it in Perth? Because they'd fill the stadium.
Easily. They wouldn't have to, that would be gone in 60 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Great movie, by the way. Have you seen that, Gone in 60 Seconds?
No, you know where? I think I've seen it. You know where I've seen Gone in 60 Seconds and why I think it's in my mind. When you go to the urinals at Joondalup Shopping Centre, they've got a little video screen there that has Gone in 60 Seconds, and it's people breaking into cars and stuff like that, telling you to lock up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
It's a good watch. I mean, it's not good for the people that paid for it, but for the entertainment while you're standing there, it's all right. But actually, on something else, another good news moment. I said I'd say it if I didn't forget between when I got told about it and the drive here, and I almost did. But Leeds United's back in the Premier League. And my mate's a massive Leeds fan, and it's been a long time since they've been in the Premier League. So, yeah.
That's probably one of those big moments I remember as well, because Leeds have a huge following in WA, like a massive following. Like, it's crazy. Like, you used to see Leeds number plates everywhere and Leeds stickers on cars and like all sorts of stuff. And when, like, the heartbreak when Leeds dropped out of the Premier League was massive.
I bet.
So it's good to see them back. Like, and they've had, like, Harry Kewell's obviously there, and if you're an Australian soccer fan, like, he's the greatest, probably.
Oh, yeah, one of he's up there.
Yeah, Cahill would be there as well, but I don't really know much about soccer. But
Aaron Moy.
Who's that?
I don't know. He plays in the Premier League.
Yeah, does he?
He's
Yeah.
Australian, though.
Yeah, so Tim Cahill, Harry Kewell, Bosnich, they're the names I know.
Mile Jedinak.
Yeah, I like that dude's beard.
He's got a good beard.
Yeah,
He's
man.
got a real good beard.
That's probably... Is that the best beard in sport?
Oh, gee, that's it. You know what? I reckon there's someone in darts that's got a better beard.
Yeah, Aaron Baines had a pretty good beard too.
But then he had the top knot he had the top knot that went with it, and I wasn't a fan of the top knot.
Yeah. I think he had that beard from what I know, but you're probably right. Either that or... Man, you probably wouldn't have a big beard for Paul, would you?
Nah, I think they're quite clean. They're quite
Yeah.
clean as well, like the suit and everything and whatnot.
That's an interesting subject. We might have a look at...
Suss it out.
If anyone out there knows of an outstanding sports person beard, I guess that's what we call it. Didn't make really much sense,
like that.
but sports person with the best beard.
Send it through.
We'd love to see it. Now, talking about shopping centres, so shopping centres and crime.
Yeah.
There's a marriage there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. And you come in today and ask me a question, and I thought to myself, I don't really think I've ever been in that situation before. And the question was, how much money can you be carrying until you feel unsafe?
Yeah. Or just a bit like weary, kind of like, I better keep my hand in my pocket.
Yeah. And for you found the dollar value the other day.
I mean, I don't know if it's the exact amount, but I'd probably say anything over about like 200. I'd say that's probably where I start being like, if I lost 200, I'd be a bit gutted.
Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking thousands.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. I was just like, well, because I think like, you think like you have a big night and you're spending $200.
Mate, my big nights are $50.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting better. I'm not as stingy anymore on a night out. I've gotten a little bit better, but yeah, like I don't know. You just once you get like a half decent amount of cash in your pocket, I just feel like my body, like you're just a bit more wary, you know, like.
I don't know. I probably don't dress nice enough for people to think that I have that much money.
I don't look at me. I don't dress very smart either, but I don't know. I guess it's just a feeling that you get.
Yeah, I get it because it's valuable.
Yeah, you know, like that's probably the thing.
But like, I think about it. Like you'll put a watch on. So I'll wear a watch that's about $350. So that watch is worth more than the amount of money. Like, and you're carrying that, and you wear that every day. No.
Yeah, see, you wear the watch. I don't wear watches, so. But then maybe watches like it's attached to you a little bit better.
What about your skateboard then? Because your skateboard is worth, what, $700 or something?
Too much.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you've got this electronic skateboard, and you take that out in public,
Yeah.
right, and you probably... there'll be times where you might just leave it in a little spot. You know where it is, but you leave it in a little spot.
Yeah.
Like, that's more expensive than the dollar figure that you're...
Then my heart's pounding and my adrenaline's rushing ready.
Yeah, so again, that's probably another good question for people. Like, how much money until you carry until you felt like...
Just a change in your feeling.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be something like a feeling that you know or just, like when it changes from like you're just going out to like, it's not $10 in your pocket. Let's just say that.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure I've got friends that are like thousands because they go to the casino and then they win and they're happy. Yeah.
There you go.
But that's it. That is an interesting question. One that I was talking to one of our avid listeners, and she owes us because we're meant to go there and record, which will happen soon. But we're talking about rules.
Yeah.
So my question is: are rules made to be broken?
My answer would be rules are there to guide you to make the right decisions. But if you've thought about it and you're like, this rules might be a good rule, but I really want to do this, then you're just going to do it, aren't you? Like for instance, if I went to like a community pool or something and it said don't do a bommy, I'm definitely doing a bommy.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll cop that. Yeah. And I think the thing is as well, is that I'll do a bommy, I'll poke my head out, and if someone gave me the you got to get out, I'd give them the come on, like, are you serious?
Come on.
But then I'd be like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And I'd go for a quick little swim and then I'd get out.
Yeah. Sort of like, yeah. Well, I guess the next point, because I think like rules are guidelines as well.
Yeah.
Like, I see them like you want to make sure to do the right thing. But as long as you're not hurting anyone else... and a lot of people say as long as you're not breaking the law, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. But so as long as you're not hurting anyone else, you're putting no one else at risk, like at all, then where's the harm?
Yeah, it's just guidelines.
Yeah. And I'm big on life is for living.
Yeah.
And there's that also like, work to live, don't live to work, like that sort of scenario, which is... Considering what I do, it's pretty contradiction, but I'm trying to get there. So yeah, so they're more guidelines. Now, what's the difference between like a rule and a law then?
A law's been passed through by government.
Yeah.
And then a rule is just been made up pretty much by any figure of who owns that thing or whatever. Like you've got household rules, you've got you've got park rules or something like that, but then laws have actually been passed through government, passed through the House of Representatives, and then to the Senate, I think, and then to the Governor General signs off on it.
Well,
I may or may not have just done this might have been part of my uni assignment recently.
Okay, so that's good. That's Sam's educational minute. But again, like a laws, like you talk about law, like there's your major criminal laws. They're out of bounds.
Yeah.
They're completely out of bounds. But like the 110 in like 100 zone, like that's more a rule.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you got some stop signs where you got to turn left, and there's some stop signs. It's weird. Like a stop sign to turn left is a bit weird because you're flowing with traffic.
Yeah.
So sometimes there's a gap that if it was a give way sign,
you'd just roll through.
Be able to roll through, but sometimes because it's a stop sign, you're like, oh, is there a police officer around that corner being, having a little watch?
Yeah.
You stop, and then you're like, oh, now I've got to wait for like 3 minutes of traffic. But I guess at the end of the day, is 3 minutes gonna?
I guess that's when you're like, because you want the traffic to flow. You want traffic.
Yeah, you do.
You do. So if you roll up to a sign and you can come out and you've got 3 cars behind you, and if you stop, it's going to cost you delay all the traffic.
Delay it.
Isn't it better you just do the safe thing? You've got room, just roll through that bad boy.
That's the thing,
Yeah, but the law is to stop.
Exactly, and that's probably the difference between a rule and a law as well.
So yeah, so I guess the criminal, like when it's like a criminal act, like you don't rob a bank,
Yeah.
you don't beat people up,
The stock standard.
you don't kill anyone, the criminal law, you don't do that stuff.
Common sense.
Yeah, but if it's not going to hurt anyone, if it's not going to put anyone out, if it's not going to, I understand that you have to have like community safety, and some people you just can't trust, but.
The one thing that just come to my mind when you said you don't hurt anyone, right? Or like that. If you rob a house where no one is, technically you're not hurting anyone.
But
you're hurting their like they will be hurt emotionally, probably.
Yeah, but
I guess if you think about that.
I don't go. If you've ever had your house robbed,
that's
the way you feel after, like.
Yeah,
you don't feel safe.
Yeah, you make someone feel bad. Yeah,
yeah, you don't feel safe at all.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I was trying to. Yeah.
So don't rob anyone's house.
Yeah, don't. No.
All right. So it's amazing how quick that happens.
That was very good. That was quite good. Smooth.
Just remember to hit up our socials. We're on Instagram.
We're
on Twitter. We're not on Twitter.
We are on Twitter. I just don't know how to use it.
Don't hit us on Twitter. That's what I'm saying. Do not hit us on Twitter.
I don't think many people are on Twitter.
Yeah.
Let's just stick with Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah.
And then Spotify. You can listen to us on it. Let's stick with those 4 things. Let's keep it simple because my Twitter knowledge is not as good. And the updates are very irregular.
Yeah. No, I got you there. My advice is you see something cool, you see something you want us to talk about, hashtag opinions unqualified. We'll get on and search that stuff and see if anything pops up. And make sure you get interactive, hit the DMs.
Yeah, post it, send it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then, stick it on YouTube because we will have some... tastings, some Sam and Nixys are finally going to get to use.
Yeah, we are. And probably the last thing I want to mention is a big congratulations to our competition winner.
Oh.
Yeah, in Estian.
Yeah.
Fantastic job. Very funny. A lot of really positive feedbacks.
About worldwide, historic moments.
Oh, yeah.
That is an Opinions Unqualified historic moment. I think that will be there forever.
Yeah.
Even... if Opinions Unqualified ever went gone, that video would
still
stay
be there.
strong.
Yeah, I agree. So thanks again for your support, Estian.
When he's not working, we'll hit you up with the prize and whatnot, and that will...
Yeah. We're going to get that on the YouTube, so we'll do that. The YouTube, how old am I?
That's all right.
So, so stay cool, stay safe.
Take it easy.
Ciao.